Today on NewsCenter, here's some concerns MSU students are having about the recent budget cuts. See what one Greek organization is doing to give back to our American troops. And get an update on the campus spring break shutdown. All this and more today on NewsCenter.
Good evening and welcome to NewsCenter. I'm Nick Oliver.
And I'm Mary Dameron. Thanks for joining us on your St. Patrick's Day. Now here's your headlines for March 17th, 2016.
Tuesday was another big day for the presidential race as voters in 5 very crucial states went to the polls to vote for their choice for the party's presidential nominee. NewsCenter's political correspondent Chad Hedrick has the latest on the campaign trail in the NewsCenter newsroom.
Yeah, guys, Tuesday was definitely a huge game changer for the Republican race for the presidential nomination. Donald Trump, trumping, for lack of a better word, Senator Marco Rubio in Rubio's home state of Florida. Florida was a do-or-die situation for Rubio, who needed the 99 delegates up for grabs in the winner-take-all state. Shortly after the race was called, Rubio confirmed he would be suspending his campaign. In Rubio's concession speech, he said, quote, "It is clear that while we are on the right side this year, we will not be on the winning side." He added, quote, "While this may not have been the year for a hopeful and optimistic message about our future, I still remain hopeful and optimistic about America." John Kasich won his home state of Ohio and said Tuesday that he wouldn't take the low road to the highest office in the land, a dig presumably towards Donald Trump. Trump also went on to win big in Illinois and North Carolina and barely defeated Ted Cruz in Missouri. Meanwhile, on the Democrat side, it was a big night for Hillary Clinton, who won Ohio, North Carolina, Florida, Illinois by wide margins. And Missouri was another very close race that took some time for the race to officially be called. So where do we stand in terms of the delegates needed for the nomination? There were some dramatic changes in the numbers after Tuesday's contest, and here's where we are. Trump and Clinton continue to steamroll over their opponents, both getting very close to the numbers needed for their party's nomination. John Kasich did tick up quite a bit, though, after his Ohio win. And guys, with Kasich's win in Ohio and taking those delegates away from Trump, there is talk that we could very well see a contested Republican convention this summer. And of course, we'll definitely keep an eye on that. But for now, in the NewsCenter newsroom, I'm Chad Hedrick. Back over to you guys.
Thanks, Chad. Over the next week, 6 more states will participate in the primaries and caucuses. For updates on those races, go to NewsCenter's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages.
It was bus week in Frankfort for the Kentucky legislative session. This week, the Kentucky House approved House Bill 290, which is Secretary of State Allison Lundergan Grimes' early voting proposal, which would allow Kentuckians to vote in person without an excuse during their county's absentee window. Grimes says the bill will make it easy to register to vote online. The legislation would allow voters to earn an early minimum of 12 days before Election Day and at least 2 Saturdays in all 120 counties. The majority of counties currently offer absentee voting on a Saturday. The legislation would not affect procedures for mail-in absentee voting. Early voting or no excuse in-person absentee voting is permitted in 33 states and the District of Columbia. The Kentucky Senate will now consider House Bill 290, and Grimes is encouraging Kentuckians to contact their legislators to voice support for early voting legislation.
A measure sponsored by Kentucky Senator Robin Webb to have Bible literacy offered as an elective social studies course in public schools in Kentucky has cleared the Senate this week and is headed to the House of Representatives for further consideration. Senate Bill 278 requires Kentucky Board of Education to set up administrative framework to establish an effective course on Hebrew Scriptures, Old Testament, New Testament, or a combination of the Hebrew Scriptures and the New Testaments. Senator Webb says she's happy to see this bill moving forward. Webb testifies in the Senate Education Committee that the bill's intent is not to have this course offered in a religious context, but in a historical context. Senate Bill 278 requires that the course provide students with knowledge of biblical content, characters, poetry, narratives that are prerequisites to understanding contemporary society and culture, including literacy, art, music, mores, oratory, and public policy. It also permits students to use various translations of the Bible for the course.
A bill passed by the Kentucky Senate could allow Kentucky businesses to invoke their religious beliefs to refuse service to gay, lesbian, or transgender customers. The measure passed the Republican-led Senate on a 22-16 vote Tuesday. The bill is in response to the U.S. Supreme Court ruling last summer that effectively legalized same-sex marriage nationwide. Republican Senator Albert Robinson says his bill seeks to protect businesses from civil damages and legal fees for refusing to participate in same-sex marriage celebrations due to conscientious objections, while Democratic Senator Reynold Thomas says it promotes bigotry and hatred. The Senate narrowed the bill's application to businesses providing customized or creative goods and services. That could include bakeries, florists, and photographers. The bill goes to the Democratic-controlled House next Thursday.
Now to an update to a breaking news alert we brought to you last week on campus furlough and proposed budget cuts from Governor Matt Bevin. On Tuesday, the Kentucky House Budget Committee approved House Bill 303, which would restore the budget cuts made towards higher education in Governor Bevin's proposed budget. House Democrats rejected almost half of Bevin's proposed budget in their version. The Kentucky House voted along partisan lines last night to approve a 2-year, $21 billion deal in the state budget that rejects Governor Bevin's proposed spending cuts for education and also gives an additional $1.1 billion to the state's pension systems. All 53 House Democrats voted for the House Bill 303, while all 47 Republicans decided to not vote. The bill will now go to the Republican Senate, which is expected to make its own changes in the next few days. Democrats said their budget is an investment in Kentucky's future because it stops further erosion of schools and universities. A conference committee between the two chambers will iron out a final decision sometime this month. As for the campus-wide furlough for faculty and staff, MSU President Dr. Wayne Andrews released a statement with adjusted plans. Instead of faculty and staff being furloughed during spring break, all staff and administrators will be required to schedule 5 furlough days, one during each pay period ending April 30th, May 15th, May 30th, June 15th, and June 30th. During the pay period when it was taken, however, full-time faculty will not be included in the furlough. And again, all employees will remain on paid status during spring break. Of course, we will continue to follow this story and bring you the latest.
There has been much discussion amongst students regarding the budget cuts and how it'll affect their education. NewsCenter's Jacob Miller joins us now with students' opinions.
The president's recent announcement of the furlough has left everybody with questions regarding the budget, so we took to the streets to see what students are thinking.
At Moorhead, we have one of the top 9 paralegal programs in the state, or in the nation, excuse me. And if it was cut, I don't know where else I could find a better academic environment for the paralegal major. And I'd be forced to switch majors or continue my agricultural major. And if that was cut, I'd have to go to UK.
I think in the grand scheme of things, it obviously shows that there are issues here. And so maybe initially it seems like it's a good short-term solution, but I think that in the long term it's not going to do much, or there are other solutions that maybe should be implemented, I feel like.
Well, it's usually the arts are the first ones to go and everything, especially when people are cutting education. They think, oh, they're the less important group, so get them out of there. But, I mean, everyone's always kind of worried with their job when it's in theater, if they're going to get a job or keep a job or things like that.
I heard it from other teachers. Their reactions were more about the people who come in and work day in and day out, and then they don't get nothing for it. Them talking about the budget cuts, we've already had trips being cut, and not only for just art students. I'm in Black Gospel Ensemble. Our trips that we take during the summer is already out.
Not having that week to contact a professor if you need to, that might be kind of tough, but I know that our professors will be okay and they'll help us out. If it saves a lot of money and the professors get a week off, they don't get paid for it, but I think it's worth it.
Reporting for NewsCenter, I'm Jacob Miller.
President Obama announced Wednesday morning that he is nominating U.S. Circuit Court Judge Merrick Garland for the Supreme Court seat once occupied by the late Justice Antonin Scalia. Garland is the Chief Judge for the United States Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit, a court whose influence over the federal policy and national security matters has made it a proving ground for potential Supreme Court justices if appointed. If appointed, Garland would replace conservative Justice Scalia, who died last month, leaving behind a bitter election year fight over the future of the court. President Obama has been met with criticism from Republicans who say the nomination and appointment of the new justice shouldn't be until the next president has been elected. In his address Wednesday, President Obama demanded a fair hearing for Judge Garland and said that refusing to even consider his nomination would be provoke, quote, an endless cycle of more tit for tat that would undermine the democratic process for years to come. However, later in the day, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell of Kentucky called Judge Garland and said that the Senate would not take action on his nomination. Coming up, Chris Horn is in the NewsCenter Weather Center with your forecast.
And we're getting an update on construction and how it'll affect students staying on campus after spring break. Stick around.
I'm Chris Bailey.
And I'm Amber Philpott, and you're watching Channel 85.
MSU TV.
Dude, where you been out all day?
Breckenridge Hall.
What's so cool about Breckenridge Hall?
And welcome back. Right now in Moorhead, it is clear with temperature sitting at 63 degrees on a beautiful St. Patrick's Day. Whew. I'd be wearing shorts right now if I could. And taking a look at our record temperatures through today, and back in 1945, it was 81 degrees. Shorts and a tank top would have been really nice back then. Our record low was back in 1906 was 13 degrees. 2 pairs of jeans, 2 pairs of coats. That'd been my way to deal with it. As you can tell, we are way above the normal high, but heading into tonight, we will be right a little bit above that normal low. So you might want to take a little coat tonight. Taking a look at temperatures throughout the Commonwealth, it is 63 degrees in my hometown, Richmond, 63 degrees in Danville, 63 in Somerset, 65 Monticello, Bowling Green. You're sitting almost at 70. And now taking a look at the First Alert Live radar, brought to you by WKYT. It is clear throughout the Commonwealth. A little spot of rain up in Covington. Whew. Might want to take a little coat. And looking at tonight, it's going to be clear in the low 40s. Sunset, it's going to be about 7:45. And you'll definitely see that moon tonight. And now, back to NewsCenter.
The Office of Student Facilities Management has scheduled a campus-wide shutdown during spring break. NewsCenter's Alexis Matthews joins us now.
Thanks, guys. The shutdown is scheduled for next week since it's spring break and most students and faculty will be gone. Assistant Vice President of Facilities Management Richard Lineo said there's multiple things they're doing over spring break maintenance-wise. One of those things is the steam outage that happens annually to maintain utility lines, but this year there's a lot more happening due to construction.
We're doing a lot more electrical outages, as we call them, planned outages. So that's a little bit different than in past years. That because of the new resident hall project coming up, we have to tie in that electrical line, and the parking garage, we have to do some utility work there. It's just an opportune time to do it during spring break.
Marketing and Communications Manager Shayla Minville added that an electrical outage is scheduled for Saturday, March 19th in order to make repairs. This outage would affect the west end of campus, including buildings used for classroom purposes, ADUC, and the Manon complex.
A lot of those facilities do have research, and we have made sure that they have generators so that none of the student research is impacted. And that's the bulk of it, but this is going to be as minimal impact as possible because so many students are gone, and now with the furlough we'll have a lot of staff and faculty out as well.
During the shutdown, Alumni Tower, Eagle Lake Apartments, and the Recreation and Wellness Center will be closed for at least 4 days due to electrical and steam outages. Utility line work will also close Earl Clements Drive. Students living in Alumni Tower and Eagle Lake Apartments will need to be relocated for the week. And for information on how to do that, students need to contact the housing office. Reporting for NewsCenter, I'm Alexis Matthews.
Thanks, Alexis. For detailed information, students can follow facilities management on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. When we come back, Chris Horn has a look at your extended forecast, and Kenzie Thompson is in with your Eagle Athletics.
I'm Natasha Davis, the Associate Professor of Dance here at Morehead State University. Under the Dance Minor program, you will learn a variety of genres of dance, including tap, ballet, modern, jazz, hip-hop, African, dance composition, dance improvisation, dance history, intro to dance, and Pilates. If you are interested, you can become a member of our National Dance Honors Fraternity, Delta Chi Xi. This fraternity offers students the opportunity to spread dance not only on our campus, but throughout the community. If you're interested in any of our classes, please come and contact me, Professor Natasha Davis. And never miss a chance to dance.
And welcome back to NewsCenter. It is 63 degrees. Humidity sitting at 22%. Winds, it is 17 miles per hour for the west-southwest. Really windy on your St. Patrick's Day. So ladies, I know your hairs were probably a mess heading to class and going probably back to your cars tonight. Looking at our temperatures throughout the Commonwealth, Lexington, you're 62 degrees. Frankfort, you're 64 degrees right now. Taking a look on the eastern side of Kentucky, 61 degrees in Mount Sterling, 65 in Jackson, 64 in Harlan, Morehead sitting 63 degrees. Ashland, you're also sitting at right mid-60s. Maysville, 61 degrees. You're right on that border of the 50-degree mark. Taking a look at our First Alert Live Radar, brought to you by WKYT, it is clear, especially throughout the western part of Kentucky. Looking up to Covington, you got a little spotty chances of some showers. And looking back towards the eastern part of here in Kentucky, it is clear. But that will change headed into the weekend as there is some snow coming in. That is right, snow. Looking to tonight, it is going to be clear, 41 degrees. Take a light coat with you. Sunset is going to be about 7:45, so you're going to have a beautiful look at the moon tonight. Looking at tomorrow, we're going to have cooler temperatures, sitting in the low 60s. Sunrise is going to be setting at about 7:40. So you're going to have a really good chance of seeing that beautiful sunset in the morning. Take plenty of pictures. And looking at our 7-day forecast, and heading into Saturday, 60% chance of rain and snow. And then heading into Sunday, we're going to be seeing some more snow. Heading into your week, we're going to be seeing about 60-degree weather into Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Chris, I think everyone would agree with me. We're really looking forward to this other than that snow. Unless you're hitting spring break, then it's going to be a good time. But hey, let's send it over to Kenzie Thompson with your Eagle Athletics.
Your home for the Morehead State Eagles, this is NewsCenter Sports.
The baseball team's 6-game winning streak came to an end on Tuesday when they fell to Marshall 6-5 in the 12th inning. This is the first time in 3 seasons that Marshall has beat MSU. Morehead shortstop Reed Leonard had a 2-out single in the 9th inning to tie the game, but Marshall's first baseman had a walk-off homer to win the game 6-5. In the 7th inning, the Eagles were down 3-1, but junior first baseman Jesus Carrera connected on a 2-run single, and junior third baseman Alex Stevens with an RBI for a 4-3 MSU lead. However, Marshall did answer back with 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th to take back the lead. Marshall's first baseman Tommy Lane nailed a 3-2 pitch from MSU junior reliever Seth Boyle over the fence to win the game. Jesus Carrera led the offense with 14 hits and has reached base in 16 games. Head coach Mike McGuire talked to us about the strengths and weaknesses of the game.
I thought we did some very good things yesterday. Did some things we'd like to do over and have a few pitches back, things like that, a few at bats back. But I think it's baseball. It's a game of very few long streaks and so, we enjoyed the win streak we had and we hit a stumbling block yesterday, and hopefully we start a new win streak on Friday. We created our own mess a couple times on the mound. We've pitched very well. It's been a strength of our club, but yesterday we had, one inning where we went back-to-back hit by pitches and gave them 2 free base runners. And, then they scratched a couple hits together to take the lead again. I thought our club showed a lot of resiliency. We came from behind twice, once to take the lead and once to tie it. We were down to our last strike in the 9th inning and got a base hit to tie the game. So I think it shows a lot about the intestinal fortitude of our guys. The guys that, maybe didn't throw as well as they've been throwing our main guys out of the bullpen for us and have been key factors in us having that win streak. So, you just kind of tip their hat to them and just say, hey, it wasn't our best day and we'll get them next time. I think obviously win, lose, or draw, Tuesday against Marshall is not going to affect, this weekend against SEMO. Obviously, it come down to us playing well and playing to our capabilities and beating a good team.
The Eagles head to SEMO this weekend for a 3-game series starting on Friday at 4 o'clock. MSU's men's and women's tennis teams have both kicked off their 2016 season. The Moorhead men are 1-6 going into conference play, and the women are 0-10 so far. However, this has not deterred Coach Fulton or his Eagles. NewsCenter caught up with Coach Fulton to find out why.
I think the biggest thing with tennis coming into college, it's an individual sport as a junior for one thing, and you're really trying to get a bunch of individuals become a team. And I think that you'll see, if you come to a match or even come to practice, you'll see the camaraderie amongst these guys. And one of the things that we talk about all the time in practice and individual meetings is, you've got to bring it every single day. We live in a society now where everything's instant gratification, everything is about wins and losses, but in reality, the process precedes the product. You've got to really put the time in as becoming better communicators with each other, better physically conditioned. You got to work on details, because the difference in winning and losing, and a lot of times, it's a millimeter. And once you learn to push past that millimeter and you learn to let go the mentality of what's holding you back, you start to see results. So we got to build on what we did against Toledo on the men's side. Toledo's a team that came in here last year, beat us 6-1. We went to their courts, and anytime you went on the road, it's a tough situation, and Toledo's probably a team that can finish in the top 4 of the MAC, and I felt like we dismantled them. And they're more like a team in the OVC than obviously Wake Forest or Michigan State or Louisville or I can't think off the top of my head the rest of the teams we played, because I've just been looking towards this weekend for the last few weeks. We're one of, I want to say I'm one of only a couple programs that both my teams have been in the tournament the last 2 years. I think that you're going to find that we're a lot better than we are ranked 6th in the conference. But I also believe that any of those 6 teams can win the tournament.
Both teams are starting conference play this weekend with home matches against Murray State this Friday and Austin Peay on Saturday. The MSU men's basketball team has advanced to the quarterfinals of the College Basketball Invitational and will host a game this coming Monday night at 7 p.m. in Johnson Arena. The Eagles will face Duquesne from the Atlantic 10 Conference. General admission bleacher seats are $8 for adults and $3 for children ages 2 to 12. All MSU students will be admitted free with their valid student ID, so make sure to come out and support your Eagles. We'll be right back with more news right after this.
The Office of Career Services held an internship workshop on Wednesday. The workshop was aimed to inform students about the importance of finding an internship. NewsCenter caught up with Mike Esposito to get a little more insight.
The internship workshop is designed to answer students' main questions with regards to how to get an internship and how one should act once they get that internship. Internships are a crucial part of the learning experience, not just because they highlight things that a student does in class and gives them hands-on learning, but it's also important for students' future employment. Employers nationally tell us they want students with experience. Internships are the ideal venue to be able to do that. So this internship workshop helps point students in the right direction, where to look, what to find, how to prepare resumes, and those kinds of things. Getting an internship is just like getting a job. There's a lot of steps, there's a lot of ways to prepare. It's not very hard, but there's a lot of things that if you've never done it before, you don't know to do. And what I hope to do with this workshop is to give students those steps that they need to take. And the other thing I hope to do is to outline what support Morehead State's Career Services Office provides in that process. Students are not alone when it comes to finding jobs or internships. We're here to help. And so I hope that this internship workshop will show them that they are not alone, and then give them some very specific things that they can do to find internships and get ready for the interview for those internships.
An event was held in ADEC this week to help reduce the amount of substance abuse over spring break. NewsCenter reporter Jacob Valerio attended the event to learn more.
This is a spring break awareness. We try to do it at least once a year, the week before spring break, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. This is the second year that we've done this. I came in October of 2014, so this is my second year doing this. We have events 3 days this week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Today is March Madness, so we have people wear Fatal Vision goggles and try to attempt to get a volleyball into the hoop, but it's our planner. And then tomorrow is self-care, and we're going to pass out sunscreen to everyone who stops by our table. We also give out resource cards, such as what is alcohol poisoning, what is substance abuse poisoning, what that might look like, and the resources in which to get people to the help that they need, such as MSUPD or counseling and health services and the health clinic. And then Wednesday we have St. Patrick's Day, and we're going to have a photo booth, and people can act silly and come and take pictures. All of this is alcohol awareness, all for spring break, just to make sure that if people do choose to drink, that they do so responsibly.
Finally tonight, there's no denying that basketball is a passion for people in Kentucky. But this week, that passion was used for a cause to help our active military.
What's a word that comes to mind when you think of active military?
Respect.
Heroes. Service.
For Theta Chi, it's basketball. On Tuesday, the first annual Hoops for Heroes event was hosted by Theta Chi Fraternity.
It's a one-on-one tournament. It's a $5 entry fee. 100% of the proceeds go straight to USO, so they can send it over. It's a non-profit organization, so everything we make here will go straight to them.
The money to sign up goes towards the United Service Organizations, an organization that supports active military through care packages and veterans with rehabilitation. The fundraiser drew students and even some special guests, like McDonald's All-American nominee, Sarah Price.
Now, I'd say half the people that show up are showing up knowing that they don't have a chance, honestly, but they're here to support. And then the other half, they're coming to show some skills. So it's fun and it's for a good cause.
Basketball continues to be a passion in the state of Kentucky, a passion that pours out overseas and into our active military.
Man, you're halfway across the country, you're over there, you're feeling lonely. You want to be comfortable. You don't want to feel like the people you're fighting for have forgotten you. We're over here and we're living a dream, man. We're in college. I'm having a lot of fun. It's the least we can do.
Hoops for Heroes raised around $100, and all the money will be designated for care packages. Now that's going to do it for us tonight. Have a great spring break.
And don't forget, NewsCenter returns March 31st. As always, have a wonderful, safe, and fun spring break.